So this news report just came across my desk from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a case. It was a discrimination case in Minnesota of transgender athlete participating in female bodybuilding, or not bodybuilding, powerlifting. I don't exactly know what the report is, but you and I are going to watch this together because this has to be interesting.
The Minnesota Supreme Court regarding transgender athletes and its effects could go beyond sports.
So the court ruled that USA Powerlifting violated the state human rights law, that it discriminated by not allowing a trans woman to compete in women's events. Fox 9's Rob Olson is live at the state Supreme Court right now. And so, Rob.
So the Supreme Court just, I guess they ruled that USA Powerlifting violated this person's rights? What is going on in Minnesota? Let's continue watching this.
The advocacy group Gender Justice filed this complaint in 2019, and it has taken that long to get to this point. But what exactly now is the state Supreme Court saying?
Yeah, and this took a while to get through the state Supreme Court as well. The arguments were back in December, the ruling again coming this morning, but Gender Justice claiming a big victory here. There were two different...
Gender Justice? Lord help us. Okay, let's see exactly what the victory was.
Claims that they'd filed, one about public accommodation, the one about discrimination in business. It was the public accommodation discrimination that the court said that absolutely USA Powerlifting had violated state laws in discrimination. Now let's show you a picture here of the athlete at the center of this case. It is J.C. Cooper, a powerlifter, a transgender female who had transitioned from male to female and wanted to compete in powerlifting, but USA Powerlifting denied that.
Let him compete with males. He's a male. Why should he compete with females? I'm trying to understand this. Someone drop in the comments how this makes any sense.
Now, they didn't have a transgender policy explicitly then. They have since then, and here's a capture of what that says on their website, and it really lists a couple of different reasons why here. One is some of the transition process, they believe, changes some of the hormones in the body, but also there's a biological advantage, they say, to being born biologically male, and so therefore they don't think it's fair inherently to the genetically female athletes in powerlifting. But again, the state's saying that is discriminatory under state law. Here's a bit of the reaction today from Gender Justice.
So I guess state law is going to, it's going to overturn the USA powerlifting policy, and they're going to let transgender women compete with other women in powerlifting. Is that what this means, or is that only going to happen in the state of Minnesota?
The court found USA Powerlifting liable for discrimination. In other words, that when it comes to discrimination, public accommodation, you cannot bar transgender women from women's sports teams. And that is a huge victory. We are so proud.
What are we doing in America? What are we doing?
Yeah, Rob, this has been a really large conversation, and you also spoke with the attorney for USA Powerlifting and its past president. What is their reaction to this today? And do they also talk about maybe their plans, potential plans moving forward?
Yeah, I asked them about that very specifically. And again, they say that, this was a defeat to them on the one claim of public accommodation law. And that, by the way, extends to sports teams beyond them and in many other facets of society. But there's the other part, the business discrimination, which is being sent down to a lower court. So they say that will give them the opportunity to still make their case on.
So what does a public accommodation? It means that you have to make accommodations for any type of person to participate in the sport. So maybe USA Powerlifting can make a transgender category? Maybe.
That part of the law, but also because there's been nothing in this court order today from the Supreme Court that says there's any damages or any orders to change their policy. They say for now their policy will remain in place.
If we are obligated to include trans women we are inherently discriminating against cis women, women who are born.
Gosh, I hate that cis women. It's just women. Stop it. Stop it. Please stop it.
Women and went through puberty as women, because the chances of their competing on an equal footing are essentially nil.
All right, so Rob, what happens next with all of this? While the ruling on the law seems clear, there was nothing from the Supreme Court ordering USA Powerlifting to pay any damages or to change their policy.
That goes back to then district court, where then that court will decide on damages, whether that's a payment or injunctive relief, whether that's ordering them to change their policy here in Minnesota. All of this against the backdrop of some federal cases that will be heading to the U.S. Supreme Court about Title IX and how transgender athletes are affected by that.
All right, Rob Olson outside the state Supreme Court today with that ruling on that transgender.
Okay, we're definitely going to have to follow this case in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with this transgender ruling. I guess the Supreme Court the Supreme Court of Minnesota didn't really say there's any damages or say that USA Powerlifting had to change their policy, but just them saying that they violated the participation or the accommodation rule of the state of Minnesota. I don't know. This seems interesting. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching the video. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you on the next video.